We're going live. We're going live
I'm
now.
going live now. Oh, I got a deep voice and I'm going live. I'm going live. Alright, we're live.
Alrighty, we're going live.
I'm going live. This is all the stupid stuff that we do before the podcast, before we do the sound check and everything. Oh, can you hear how low my balls hang? I'm going live.
Alright, I should probably kick this off with the usual.
Welcome everybody to Talking Podcast. It's me, Webhead, Wiggy, Webhead Wiggy up in the house. A wiggy wig, a wiggy wig.
Nickelodeon. That's what that sounded like.
I was doing the Wiki Wig Wild Wild West thing.
A wiggy wig from the west side. Hello, webheads, and welcome to another edition of Spider-Man, the Animated Series podcast. I'm your host, Alex Robson. With me, as always, is the all-around friendly neighborhood guy, the comic book artist. I don't have my script in front of me, even though I've done it a million times. It's Mr. Will Robson. Say hello, Will.
Hello, Will. Ha 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 ha. Classic.
We are live on YouTube right now on RobsonINK. So if anyone's listening to this after the fact, they can always go to RobsonINK and check out the episode there to watch us talk, even though we're not very good to look at. You could do that. Or you could go to iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, or wherever else you get your podcasts and check out the episode there once it's gone live. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm all right. Office is slowly but surely coming together. I'm gonna do an office tour when it's all ready and done. Oh, office tour on my channel. I'll probably have my wife film and I'll open the door and be like, "Sup, welcome to my office." So this is where the art happens. So
This is where we do our stuff.
this is where we do stuff. I'm doing a sketch card of the Kingpin today, Smythe. If you're watching it live or on my YouTube channel, you can see the voice of the Spider-Man the Animated Series podcast, Kingpin, draw the Kingpin.
I'm very excited to see your Kingpin today. Bahabit Singh just said, hello, what are you guys going to draw? Obviously, there's a bit of delay. That's about to answer your question. I'm sure by the time I've said this, you've heard him say the Kingpin.
The Kingy-Pingy of crime.
So, yeah, the idea of today's episode is to go live, have a chat, have people come on board. So if
Are we doing a live Kingpin and Smythe scenario?
I don't have a Kingpin in my scenario locked in today, but if people wanted to make suggestions, we could do it off the cuff.
All right.
So yeah, we could do a Kingpin and Smythe scenario. We can answer your questions if you guys have any questions for us about Spider-Man the Animated Series or anything really comic book or film related. We'll have a chat. We'll answer your questions, and also I got a couple questions lined up for you, buddy. So yeah, it will just be a very relaxed, fun. Have a beer. You're going to be drawing type of scenario.
Wine.
Oh, you're having wine. Oh, very nice. Green Day, welcome to my crib. Cue slow-mo and sensual song. That's for your little office tour.
Yeah.
So how was your day? What have you been up to? How's the quarantine life?
What have I done today? Well, I woke up.
Well, I woke up again.
I played Animal Crossing, which was fun. My village is pretty dope, and I do dope things in my village.
We played Star Wars.
We played a bit of Star Wars, yeah, Battlefront 2, that was good. I've had a couple of drinks. I've organised my office a bit more. I've set up one of my early birthday presents. A fancy ladder. Like a shelf ladder. I'm sure everyone's riveting to hear about this. And I put various knicky-knacks on it and books. Yes.
Nats.
And I worked on our secret comic book we're making together.
Yeah, very excited.
I did a bit of that, and I kissed my wife. I played some Wii.
Played some Star Wars with me.
We already said that.
Oh, sorry.
And then after this, I'm going to be eating a chicken wrap with honey mustard and chips, and then walking the dog at night. So that's me. How about you, bud?
That sounds good. Well, I woke up again too, and I Yeah, I've been going through the Star Wars films slowly but surely. I watched Phantom Menace in like 2 parts. God, that film is hard to get through at points.
No, it's great. I love it.
Oh, the acting is so bad. The child acting is atrocious. Um, so yeah, but I did enjoy watching the Darth Maul fight, obviously, and a couple other scenes in that film. Pod racing. Started Attack of the Clones this morning, and at first I was like, you know what, this isn't so bad. And then the moment they try to kill Padme, the bounty hunter, and they go after that bounty hunter, the dialogue is awful. I mean, it's some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard delivered. And Ewan McGregor, he's doing all he can with the crap dialogue he got. But yeah, Hayden Christensen, I can see why when it came out, everyone's like, this is Darth Vader, because he's just like really deadpan, dry response that's not in his characters is very odd. Like, what took you so long, my young apprentice? I'm sorry, my master. I couldn't find a speeder I liked.
Yeah, but it's like it's all with time, it's all settled in. We're all used to it now, and now it's just a bit of a laugh, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I
watched the prequels for a bit of a laugh because they are very funny. If you like to laugh at things that you shouldn't laugh at, that's my game. I love laughing at things I shouldn't be laughing at, and that movie is that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. And that diner scene, though, I had to skip the diner scene.
Well, what do you know?
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, that was weird. I think like Lucas was like, well, the pod racing worked. It's like NASCAR. Maybe I'll do like 50s diner next.
Well, no, I think that is associated with his love for 50s. That's why he made what's that movie he made with Harrison Ford and the kids in the 50s and the drag racing. He made it before Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know why it's not in my head right now, but I know
he loves that Americana, so that's why that was in there. You should, in my opinion, Star Wars it's a fine balance between you can take some stuff from our world, like a bar, and turn it into a cantina. Music you can do, but there is a point where don't take specific stuff from the world, like a 50s diner. Like, what was there a 50s era in like the Star Wars universe where everyone like ate hamburgers and like were happy they won a big war? Like, I don't know.
It's greaser Jedi
and like the club as well. I'm like. There's a very finite line between like what you can take from our world and what you can put in Star Wars, in my opinion.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Sith would suit well in the 50s with all like the black leather and stuff and the slick back hair, like the greasy black hair. They'd look good.
Hey, you guys want to have a race, eh? Lightsabers. We got lightsabers on the line. Not pink slips, lightsabers.
So yeah, I watched some Star Wars. I played some Star Wars with you. I've done stuff in my garden, which is feeling very British, and then watched some Parks and Rec. I'm making steak tacos tonight, and I've just done all sorts of prep for that before this. And I'm looking forward to having that. And I've been drinking beer and just relaxing today on this.
Yeah, me too. It's
holiday.
This whole week, like, it's just been a very relaxing week.
Yeah. So we've got a KingPin and Smythe scenario. We can see how we feel. I would like some more suggestions before we dive in, because it would be great to see some. Or we could do more than just one KingPin and Smythe. Who knows? Yeah. Green Day says KingPin and Smythe react to now being fully owned by Disney since they bought out Fox.
Okay, I could definitely do that one. Smythe, have you heard the news? Smythe?
What? You've lost weight.
Well, thank you for noticing, Smythe. Honestly, it's about time. Do you know how long I've been waiting to hear that, for Christ's sake? Yes, I've lost 1.7 pounds, and I'm very proud of it. Round the neck, sir, right? Yes, just right around here. Right, you see this bit? Look, you can see my Adam's apple now. It's poking out. I can. Sorry, what was... Oh, right. That's not the news, Smythe. That's not the news.
Oh, God.
Apparently, our whole entire universe is owned by corporations on another planet. Did you know that, Smythe?
Is this like one of those Secret War situations, sir?
Sort of. Why, how do you know about the Secret Wars? I spent a lot of money to get that information.
All right, so who owns us, sir? Who owns us?
We are owned, get ready for it, by Disney.
Ooh, does that mean I'm a Disney princess, sir?
It means that we're both Disney princesses, Smythe. I've made preparations for us today to go out and try on tiaras and dresses. Will you accompany me on this occasion?
I can show you a world, sir.
Oh, please keep going. Is singing now mandatory for the way we live our lives? I just had a big poo, and it was really smelly.
Look out for crime, he's running in the hallway right now. A whole new smell.
Tonight I'm making steak tacos.
I mean, so if they're owned by Disney and they're like, we are officially Disney princesses, mate, they're going to... I've never seen my face do the Kingpin and Smile scenario before because I've usually just got you. It's very weird. So I think they would go out dress shopping. Like we've got to get
Well, that's what
out.
I said. That's what I set up.
So what Disney princess would Smythe want to be, and what Disney princess would Kingpin want to be?
Well, okay, so Kingpin's all about power and being in control. What princess has a lot of power?
Jasmine?
Maybe. What about the Frozen lady? Because she's got like superpowers and stuff.
Yeah, that could work. I don't know. I've never seen Frozen, so I would.
I'm just assuming.
Smythe. I could see Smythe like going for someone like, oh my god, the Little Mermaid, because the Little Mermaid can't walk.
Yes, perfect.
He makes his whole chair into a giant like fish bin.
And what's the evil version of that in that universe?
What, Ursula?
Yeah, it's like, are you suggesting that I am Ursula's mate?
Well, sir.
Because I love it. So,
oh my god! All these...
So Kingpin dresses up as Ursula, which I mean, we can all picture it right now. It's a perfect.
In drag.
He's like, this is brilliant. I know. And made for this.
Look at my tentacles, Smythe.
Look, I have hair as well. It's quite amazing. And then Smythe is just shirtless with a mermaid like thing over his legs, and just he's dyed his mullet red. It's like, oh.
I told you, his whole hover chair is like a mermaid's tail.
Yeah, no, it's like the lobster or whatever from that.
Oh,
I've never felt more alive, sir.
And then they do all of the songs.
Yeah. What's a Little Mermaid song? Oh yeah. Under the sea. What could that be instead? Under the sheets. Under the sheets. Me and the Smythe tickling each other under the sheets. Only tickling because this is Disney, Smythe. You got very PC around here.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they'd have to keep all of that hush hush. Oh, that's brilliant.
I heard that Walt Disney isn't too much of a fan of our lifestyle, Smythe.
I can't see the Kingpin so much right now. He's kind of out of the camera frame.
Sorry.
Well, I'm just saying. You wanted me to point that out last time. You should draw Kingpin as a mermaid, someone says.
Oh, well, I would have drawn him as Ursula if I hadn't already started.
Oh, that would have been great. No, I want to see your proper Kingpin right now. I'm looking forward to that. I still can't see it in the camera.
It's right there. Remember, it's delayed.
Oh, there it is. There we go. It is delayed. Oh, man.
I still can't see it in the camera.
Look, you, shut up.
Would you mind fixing that for me, please?
So if people in the chat, because there's quite a few people, if people wanted to start asking us questions or just want to chat about stuff, what we think about certain films or cartoon series, whatever, feel free. But whilst I'm waiting for some questions to come in, I'm going to ask you some questions, bud.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been curious to know, who is your favorite voice actor ever?
My favorite voice actor ever? I don't know. I guess Mark Hamill, I suppose.
That's what I was going to say for mine as well. I think his level of...
But that's just one character. I know there's other people out there that do multiple voices. That would probably be a better fit for favorite voice actor. But, you know, I'm not too with that world. So
No. I mean, I really like Jim Cummings as well. I mean, he did Shocker in the animated series for Spidey.
he's done
like,
loads of stuff. Yeah,
every Disney film. He's Winnie the Pooh. So I do like that.
I do love the guy who does the Kingpin a lot.
Well, I was about to ask you, who is your favorite voice actor in Spider-Man the animated series?
Definitely the guy who does the Kingpin.
Right, Roscoe Lee Brown.
Roscoe Lee Brown, yeah.
Yeah, I that's my answer as well. That's very funny. We had the same answers for that. I love his Kingpin. It is the definitive Kingpin voice. I mean, we do bloody scenarios with those voices because they're so definitive. What's your first memory of watching Spider-Man the animated series? Like,
I remember when we lived in England as young little whippersnappers. There was bunk beds, and we had a TV that was like at the top, so you could watch it like the top bunk bed on like a weird like shelf thing.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing on there. It was like I remember seeing Rugrats and then that show.
See, I don't have memories of watching it in England. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking about something else. I do have memories of watching it in England, but I actually have my first memory of Spider-Man the animated series was at my friend's Aaron's house, or Aaron's house, should I say? And I remember being in his bedroom, and he had like a little TV with a VCR in it, and I remember watching Spider-Man the animated series, the Hobgoblin episode where Hobgoblin's like raining down on Kingpin as he's like, you know, digging in the earth and trying to unveil something. Mm-hmm. I specifically remember being in his bedroom and seeing that on the TV and being like, this show's pretty good. I've probably seen it before, but yeah, that's just the memory that pops into my head of watching it for the first time. People in the chat,
you'd have a clearer memory because I mean I was only like 5 at the time and you were 8, so.
Yeah. People in the chat, what is your first memory of Spider-Man the animated series? We got a question. What were both of your favorite Halloween costumes from your childhood? Ooh.
I think yours is that Batman 89 costume, right? Because you would wear that not on Halloween as well. You'd wake up and be like, I'm going to be Batman today.
Yeah, I suppose that'd be it. I mean, I've had some good ones. I really liked my Spider-Man costume, even though I got my ass kicked in that costume. That was a good costume.
I won a Halloween costume dressed as Fred Durst, and you drew his tattoos on my arm when I was.
Oh my god,
12,
you're right.
I think. So
Whoa,
that was probably my favorite one. You even like with a Sharpie, put the little like underlip soul patch.
Yeah, I remember doing that. Now that's weird. I remember being in the driveway, at our old house in New Jersey, and yeah, I remember seeing you like that. Well, I forget what I was that Halloween then. Do you remember or no?
I think you were too old for it by then.
Smite, I've never been too old for Halloween.
Yeah, but when you were like, you know, in your later teens in high school, you're like, who wants to dress up? And you just look at everyone like, I wish that was me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Batman, that mask too that I had, I treasured that Batman mask. And do you remember it used to have a slit in the back and my hair would stick out from the slit?
I remember we had like a weird army belt that you tried to paint yellow and failed miserably.
Oh yeah.
You tried to paint it yellow like the bat belt, and then just forever we just had this horribly sticky and like crackly, yellowy, cruddy belt.
And it was a great belt before that as well. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I would say those definitely the Batman and Fred Durst. That's a real deep pull you just brought back there, some memories.
I was also Eminem the next Halloween as well. I actually dyed my hair bleach blonde, like for real, not like a spray on. Like I had that for months afterwards.
It's so weird that you chose to be like
rappers.
You know, rappers. Yeah.
Don't know why.
It's so weird.
My good friend at the time was Cisco as well, and I was like, Fred Durst, he was Cisco. We were rocking it. Like a kid dressed up as the guy who sings a thong song. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's really good. We've got someone saying the first episode of Spider-Man the animated series I watched was the Secret Wars one. Oh, that's quite the episode.
A little late to the game on that one, then.
Yeah, I suppose you get the full kind of spectrum of Spider-Man in that world, though. Oh, this beer is delicious. Okay. I like that Halloween question. That was fun. Who in the animated series has your favorite character design?
I really love Hobgoblin, man. I really love his
Yeah.
whole look, his aesthetic, the colors, and I think his facial expressions, everything about it just all really pops.
Yeah, Hobgoblin's great. I like his color of his cape and his costume and everything. I like the blue and the orange and the sort of mustard yellow face. Yeah, I get that. I dig that. Mine is Peter Parker.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's a very good one as well.
That Peter Parker is so definitive for me as like the Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He's the first Peter I ever saw, and still to this day I compare every Peter where.
Yeah, I like the J. Jonah as well. I mean, there's lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
KingPin.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Peter, I think just because of that hairstyle and his chin and just the way he looks, I'm like, now that's Peter Parker.
Now that's Parker.
Okay, next question. Who is your favorite ally in Spider-Man the animated series? Like who he was, fighting alongside, or someone that helped him. We're talking voice actor and character, just the whole thing, like the person on screen.
I think mine's the Lizard.
The Lizard.
Mm.
What, his
Because
team
we get
up
to
with
see
him?
a full arc with that
Okay.
character instead of just like a guest cameo appearance.
All right, cool.
But then
I'd say
again, there's a couple episodes I haven't seen in a while, and I know when the cat comes and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's been a while since I've seen all of them. So I only watch them every time we do a review. So it's been a while. The last time I watched them, I was 18, 19 years old. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think for me, I would probably say, and I haven't watched them in a while either, but I'd say Daredevil for me. I just love that whole 2-episode arc of Daredevil and like teaming up with Spider-Man. And I remember, like, you get to see through his vision and how he hears, people and sees them and like his heartbeat. And I thought it was really cool. And that was my first introduction to Daredevil. And I was just like, well, this character's really cool. He's basically Batman, but he's red and he's blind, but he's got superpowers. So I loved all of that. We got a question. Do you guys like Eminem?
I don't listen to him anymore. My wife grew up with him, so she has nostalgia for him. In fact, there's a couple of songs of his that will come on I like, but any of his stuff past like early 2000s, I have no interest in.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm an early 90s hip hop boy.
We do a cartoon review from the early to mid 90s, don't we? So...
And I am definitely West Side.
Yeah, that's so funny because I am too. We grew up on the East Coast, but we loved the West Side rappers, didn't
Dr.
we?
Dre,
Snoop Doggy
Snoop
Dogg.
Doggy Dizzle Dog, the NWA. These are my homeboys.
Tupac's mate, don't forget about it.
Because you know why? It's because my favorite genre of music is funk, and the West Side just brought the funk to their music. Especially you got to praise Dr. Dre for all of that. Master, absolute master for taking old soul and funk songs and making them beats, baby.
Yeah, that was really cool. I definitely oh man, I'm gonna listen to some of that tonight as well. Making my tacos, that sounds fun. I remember having the VHS tapes for Spidey versus Doc Ock, Spidey meets Daredevil, and Return of the Green Goblin. We never had those tapes, did we? But I remember seeing the DVDs at Blockbuster when we used to go to that Blockbuster in New Jersey. I remember seeing those DVD covers. But yeah, I guess we watched Spider-Man the Animated Series only when it was on TV. We never had.
Well, I got a fun fact. The guy who is teaming up with us in coloring our secret comic book, when they released the DVD copies of Spider-Man the Animated Series, he was the one that colored all the covers of the Spider-Man the Animated Series DVD covers.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Oh, well, we should have him on the show. There's a link there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I'm so excited to do this book, dude.
Yeah.
I'm mucho looking forward to it. We will certainly be able to talk about it at some point and reveal some details, but we're just ironing out some stuff, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got another question for you. What villain do you most want to see in the next Spider-Man movie? For me, if I can answer, whilst you think, mine would be Kraven. I think we're long overdue for a Craven. I think Craven is perfect for where Tom Holland's Spider-Man is, and going to be on the run, and he's going to have people after him. And I think Craven is the ultimate hunter to go after him. And I think
Mine is Kingpin and Smythe.
You want Kingpin. Now, do you want a new Kingpin or do you want Daredevil Kingpin?
New Kingpin.
New Kingpin?
Yeah.
That's interesting because I wouldn't mind Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin in the MCU movies. I know a lot of people have been calling for it, but yeah, that's that would be fun. Who would you have? Okay, so would you be able to cast Kingpin and Smythe?
No.
No. Okay.
I maybe the guy who plays the Vision I'd have as Smythe.
Right. So he's in 2 roles in the MCU. Okay.
Yeah. Because I really liked him as the Unabomber.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I don't know, just with his accent, I could just see him being like, "No, sir," with a mullet on.
You put him. You'd have a mullet and everything.
Oh, I would have a freaking mullet.
I love that. Oh man, who could be a giant, bald, big baby Kingpin that's like Winston Churchill?
Put someone in a fat suit.
Yeah, you could put someone in a fat suit. Gary Oldman. He did it for Churchill and come back and do it.
I didn't really like his Churchill. I think who did it better? What's his name? Brian
Cox.
Brian Cox. Yeah, there you go. Brian Cox as the Kingpin.
Also, John Lithgow in The Crown.
John Lithgow as Kingpin. Buy it, sell it, print it, get it out there.
I like that. John Lithgow as Kingpin would be fun.
This damn Spider-Man. You're hopping about web slinging.
Bloody children.
Smite,
awesome.
Smite. Come here, Smite.
And I know you're not a big fan of this, but I really want to see Hugh Jackman as Kraven. I think Hugh Jackman is such a perfect Kraven. And I would love to see him come back into the MCU, and be a bad guy instead. Okay, we've got someone said, what an awesome tribute to have a little bit of the show in your comic. Yeah, that's true, actually. Now that I know that the colorist who did all the DVD covers for Spider-Man the Animated Series is going to be the colorist in our book. That's really cool.
Well, we can't do an official tribute because that would be copyright infringement.
Yeah, exactly. No, but he's saying for us to have a little tribute, and connecting to the podcast. Which artist do you like better and why? Greg Capullo or Jim Lee?
Greg Capullo, hands down. He's an absolute master of his craft. Jim Lee's fantastic. He revolutionized the business. But at the end of the day, a lot of Jim Lee's work, to me personally, feels a bit sort of safe is the word I'm going to use. And, Greg Capullo has done that as well. But they're both tremendous artists. They both revolutionized the business in their own ways. But Capullo, to me, he has the cartoony factor and he has the storytelling. His storytelling is like watching an episode of Breaking Bad. It's masterful.
Yeah, well, that's a bloody good answer.
Jim Lee just draws very, very good anatomy and very awesome pictures. But when it comes down to who's telling the story, I will go with Capullo all day.
I think
you used to be a big Jim Lee boy.
I did, and I still am to a certain degree. But I reread his old stuff. Like I think Hush is his best work. I really do.
I think so as well. I think that's definitely the best book he's ever done. His top of his work. Yeah. Yeah,
for sure. And I even like the Batman and Robin that he did with Frank Miller.
I love that. Yeah.
His art in that is really underrated. I think his art's really good. And that his old X-Men stuff, Jim Lee's old X-Men stuff is fantastic. But I'm going to have to agree with you, bud. Greg Capullo all the way. The influence that because I'm a big Batman the Animated Series fan as well, the influence he took from Batman the Animated Series, like where he talks about like giving him that Batman that thick neck, and he's got that like.
Well, he didn't take any influence from that. He took influence from all Batman. True.
I remember Scott Snyder took influence from Batman the Animated Series when writing these scripts, and he was watching episodes on repeat.
Yeah, he wrote their story as if they were episodes of Batman the Animated Series,
which is genius, I think. And it definitely shows. But yeah, I love Craig Capullo more than Jim Lee. Definitely.
Really? That's interesting.
His Batman is more my style of Batman, and I love that thick cowl where the neck goes up and it goes straight over the ears, and it just goes straight into the the pointy ears. That silhouette of Batman with that like thick neck instead of having like the earlobes. You can see in Jim Lee's mask, which I do love. You got
the lobes, the shape of the ear.
The shape of the ear, and you got the chin as well, and then the neck. I like how he just forms it.
Personally, you're gonna be shocked. I think Jim Lee draws a better Batman.
Wow.
I think Jim Lee's the drawing of Jim Lee's Batman's face to me is iconic. Like, and I feel like artists since Hush, but before Craig Capullo came along, that's what everyone was trying to do. Yeah. Because I just feel like when Jim Lee draws Batman, it's perfection. But that doesn't. I'm not saying who's my favorite Batman artist because that's Frank Miller, but it's who's the best. Who do I prefer? Greg Capullo.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Next question we got from someone in the chat: what fictional location in comics, movies would you want to go for vacation? Real cities also count for Marvel. And Piercy says, "Hey, Robson Bros." Hi, Piercy. Okay, so fictional location in comics, movies would you want to go for a vacation? I think Themyscira would be a good location.
What's that?
That's Wonder Woman's island. It's like super tropical.
I don't think you're welcome there.
Yeah, shit, you're right. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I'll vacation there. What, with all the Aztec women? Sounds great.
I'm here for a holiday. Hello. They're like, you will be
here, take my bags.
We will eat you for supper. Man. I wouldn't want to go to Gotham City, that's for sure. That place is a shithole.
Oh, hell no.
Shield helicarrier? Nah. That would be very boring after a while and be like, I want to get off this ride. I mean, I would love to... I don't know about a vacation, but I would love to see the Batcave. I would love to explore the Batcave and, like, see all the gadgets, see all the cars and vehicles, the suits, the Bat computer, the secret entrances, all of his trophies. I would love to just spend a day in the Batcave. So if that counts as a holiday, that's my answer.
Right.
Someone said you should go to Asgard. Yeah, that's true. That's a good place to go. Asgard would be good. Just lots of wine and big old tables of roast chicken and lots of gods walking around drinking beer. Where would you go?
I don't know. That's a really sit down think question.
No, Ritz proper got you thinking then. Okay.
I am drawing at the same time. Usually.
That's true. He's looking good, your Kingpin, by the way. I'm very happy with that.
He's just found out bad news and he's sitting in his big chair.
Oh, we're thinking way too much. He said comics, movies. He said, I think I'd choose Naboo. Star Wars would be fun.
I don't want to go to Naboo.
Why not? Naboo's nice.
It's swampy.
That's in your TripAdvisor review for Naboo?
It's probably like Florida, basically.
I went there and there was a bunch of blood.
It's the Florida of Star Wars. It's going to be very swampy, very hot. Weird local creatures.
Gungans getting your
Gungans way. Instead of gators.
You also gonna eat that? You're like, oh, go away. I just want to eat my lunch in peace. Star Wars actually now on a. Okay, I'll narrow this down. What planet in Star Wars would you most want to visit? You don't have to go for a holiday. Just visit.
Well, I wouldn't want to go to Coruscant because I hate cities.
Yeah, and it's just all city.
It's a
I agree.
City planet. Cloud City. Easy. Boom. Up in the clouds, looking around, nice views. Yeah.
Yeah?
Or Scarif, so I could just put my feet up by the beach.
Scarif is a good shout, actually. Scarif sounds nice.
But then I'd be like, right, well, this is just a tropical place. I've been to places like this. Cloud City, that's a once-in-a-lifetime.
That's a good point. Ooh. Cloud City might be the winner for me as well, because that is a good point where you don't want to go somewhere where you're like, well, I could just do this in a country on Earth. I definitely would not want to go to Tatooine or Jakku or anything. It's just going to be like, this is just hot, and sand is irritating, and it's coarse, and it gets everywhere.
I wouldn't mind going on a hike in Endor. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't want to go to Dagobah
No.
or Hoth. Both of those are out. God, I've got start. I'm going to go with Cloud City as well. That's definitely the best choice because you are living in a city in the clouds, which you'll never be able to do. So that's very good, and it's a very trendy looking city.
Yeah, it looks like a dope place. Like, could you imagine going to like a restaurant and like a cocktail bar and like your view is just like you go out for a fag and it's just like clouds and shit. It sounds great.
Go out for a fag. Where do I have a fag? They're like, we're literally in the sky anywhere.
Great.
Oh, I've seen the carbonite freezing chamber as well. That'd be cute. I would go to Endor. Someone said that's a good shout. Endor would be great.
That's what I said. Have a hike in Endor. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I would go to Krakoa. What's Krakoa? Krakoa. I would not go to Mustafar, that's for sure. I'd be bloody boiling there.
I'd wish to stay very far away from Mustafar.
To stay far away. That's what the Emperor says to Anakin when he's like lying there, missing arms and legs. He's like, "You must stay far away from this place." It just reminds me of that meme I sent you the other day of Michael Jackson leaning in, going,
Annie, are you okay?
One of the best memes I've ever
That's so funny.
And it's the lean as Anakin's laying there. Oh, that's brilliant. Green Day said, "Will stop off at Lando's cape shop."
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, get yourself a trendy cape. What colour cape would you wear?
Grey or duck egg or salmon.
Duck egg? You had those answers loaded. I thought you'd be like, I don't know, but you're like grey, duck egg, or salmon.
Those are my colours. Look, this is the way I've coloured my house.
That's true. Alright, I got another question for you then. What characters would you redesign on Spider-Man the Animated Series if you had a chance? Or character. Or characters, if you have more than one. Well, is there any ones that you're like, I would change this? I think I know your answer.
Do you?
Yeah, I think you'd change Mary Jane.
Yes, I would. I put her in the classic black sort of tank top.
Yeah, and the jeans.
The comics. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't mind the look of Mary Jane. The purple sweater.
The head is perfect, and obviously the voice is perfect.
Yeah, yellow sweater and purple trousers is very strange. Oh, Krakoa is the country that mutants created. Oh.
The mutants?
Yeah, from X-Men.
Oh, I see. Oh, right. That's the House of X stuff, right?
Yes, I think so. We got a question. Do you think Jack Kirby is underrated?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Do you want to elaborate?
Well, he created the Marvel Universe just as much as Stan Lee does. And I get Stan Lee had to be the front runner, and I don't... I can see why people would resent the idea of maybe he's getting too much of the spotlight, but he brought people to those comics. Like, all you hear about people talking about when they got into those comics was like, when you read a Marvel book, you were part of the Stan's Merry Marvel Society and all that stuff. Like, he was such a cheerleader for that stuff. And he's not really like, hey, I'm the guy that did this. Everyone else is like, that's the guy that did this. So
yeah,
I think the dude was just living his life. But Jack Kirby, man, the way everything looks, and like a lot of people don't talk about how a lot of the scripts Jack Kirby just made and drew them, and then Stanley just filled in the words, and like the actual stories themselves, like, were created by Jack Kirby. And his art, like, I feel like when you first look at his art, you might be like, oh, I don't really like this, but it's one of the most growing arts, and especially if you start learning about how to draw, and you see, it's like looking at Bruce Timm, where you're like, how did he make that stuff so simple but so powerful? And like, if you actually sit, like, it might look like crap to you, but if you sit down and try and draw it, good luck, because it is practically impossible.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I've always appreciated his contribution to everything he's done, and just his character designs that are iconic and are going to live on for hundreds of years. You know, it's just going to be crazy how long those characters live on for. So, yeah, I agree. He is underrated. What character would you like a lead in the Sony Marvel movies? For example, some of their movies are Venom and Morbius.
I'd rather just, if I have to be a dick, I'd rather just have them be in the MCU. That's my answer.
Yeah, I mean,
But if I had to answer,
yeah.
um,
Would a Craven movie be good?
yeah, Craven, go on then.
Yeah, Craven wouldn't be bad, right? I mean, I know they've been talking about doing that anyway, and there's a plan to do it. I don't know what it would be without Spider-Man. I guess it's just him hunting and being like the ultimate hunter and getting that. I don't even know if Craven has a serum in the comics. I just go off the animated series. Like, he had the serum and he became the Jungle Man, the Craven the Hunter.
Hungry jungle.
All right, question for you then, bud. What is your favorite Spider-Man movie?
I think it's the first Spider-Man movie because it's nostalgic and it cracks me up because it's so terrible.
I love how like it's almost like the prequels. It's so funny how if it makes you laugh and it's bad, you're almost like it becomes your favorite.
Yeah, that's my jam. I just love to laugh, and especially at stuff that's supposed to be serious. And it's really poorly executed. I guess that makes me kind of a dick because that's like just me laughing at like a bully in a sense. But I don't know. That's just the way I am.
You said it, not me. Yeah, I mean, I love the Toby film, number one, for the nostalgia purpose. And you're right. I mean, you go back and watch like some of his reactions, and also he's supposed to be like a 17-year-old kid or an 18-year-old kid, and he looks 38. Like he looks so old. So that's definitely something that I can see why you like it the most. For me, it varies. It changes. I love Spider-Verse so much.
Spider-Verse is a really good movie. Solid.
Yeah, I think Spider-Verse it's probably my favorite, but you know, a really, really close second, like just a few centimeters behind it, is Spider-Man Homecoming. I
really love those movies, but they're still not my Spider-Man. I'm still waiting for my Spider-Man movie. And that's why I kind of like the first one, because I need the bugle, and that's all I need, really. You take the bugle away from me, and I'm not having as good of a time.
Yeah.
I need JJ in my life all the time.
I am missing the bugle in the MCU, but Homecoming, just Michael Keaton as the Vulture, brilliant. The execution of that, tying it to the Avengers fight in New York, and then like him answering the door when he's going to collect his prom date or his homecoming date, and it's her dad, and you're just like, what? Like, I remember in the cinema being like, what?
That's a great twist, yeah.
Yeah, and just that scene in the car where Vulture is figuring out that he is Spider-Man, and he's looking in the rearview mirror, and when he figures it out and how he changes, and then he's just like, why don't you go inside, Spider? I'm just gonna, the dad have the talk, dad. And then he's got the gun behind the chair. I love all of that so much. He's a kid. He's like 16, 15. It's so good. And then when he runs through the hallway to change and he gets his extra suit from under the locker and all of that stuff, I was like, this is proper classic Spidey, like in school trying to balance his social life and also being a superhero. So, you know what? I think I actually like Spider-Man Homecoming more now I've said all of that.
It is good.
It is besides the bugle, which is heavily missing, I agree. It's got loads of classic Spider-Man tropes in that make that character what to me what he should be. Oh, someone already asked us what's your favorite Spider-Man movie. That's funny. If you were able to have met Stan before he passed, what one item would you have gotten signed by him? Well, I met Stanley, and I just shook his hand, and I thanked him for making my childhood, and he thanked me for reading his funny books, as he said to me.
You're like, I haven't read a single book you've made, but I like the stuff that inspired other writers to write your stuff.
So true. Also, I like seeing you in the movies when you do your little cameos.
Yes.
What about you? If you met Stanley before he passed, what one item would you have gotten signed by him?
I don't know. I'm not
Stuff, right?
I'm not a big signature guy, so I wouldn't have got anything. I just would have, like you, I just would have want to shake his hand, being like,
Yeah.
thanks for being you. You're awesome. Toodles.
Yeah, I'm not a big signature guy either.
Maybe I would get him to sign my Spider-Man and Deadpool comic.
Oh yeah, that would be cool because you've obviously that's nice. I like that. Spider-Verse 2 is going to be awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for Spider-Verse 2. I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's so lame that Sony has, unless they are lying, which is very possible that they're bullshitting, but Sony has shut down the rumors that Tobey, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland are all going to cameo like and come together in Spider-Verse 2. That's lame.
I don't believe anything until they just announce stuff. I don't see the point in speculating.
Yeah, I agree but Sony's saying that. I don't know if it's misleading or not, and we'll find out once Spider-Verse 2 comes out if Toby and Andrew and Tom all come in as their characters, because I think that's the perfect platform to do it, because animation.
That would probably be my favorite Spider-Man movie. That just sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you get to have those Spider-Men just do their voice and you've got the animated character, that'd be perfect, because Tobey Maguire, like, you're not going to put him in a Spider-Man suit. He ain't going to get in a Spider-Man suit, but he'll just use his voice, because he won't.
Yeah, no, that's fine. They don't have to be in the suit.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying for Spider-Verse 2, use the animated characters.
Oh, Spider-Verse. I thought you meant a live-action Spider-Man movie.
No, they've been talking about using them in Spider-Verse.
No, I'd have them do a live-action Spider-Verse and have them all be in it as Spider-Man.
Well, that would be great, but I don't think that would ever happen. But I think that maybe Spider-Verse would be a possibility, because they've just got to record their lines and then have an animated character.
Well,
I think it'd be fun.
You think it could happen?
Because I just don't see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield ever wanting to go back to their character, especially Andrew Garfield.
But this could be redemption song, right?
Yeah, but are they that bothered? I think they've been trying to... Sometimes they just want to get away from a role instead of going back into it and trying to make up for it. It's like George Clooney. He got as far away from Batman as possible and never wants to talk about it. Although I'd love to see George Clooney come back.
Yeah, but if they said, hey, George, come back and we're going to have a lot of fun. This is the script. Everyone's going to love you. And they're going to love you as Batman. Like, that's a tempting offer.
You know what? George Clooney as Dark Knight Returns is also a good choice.
No, it's not. That's terrible. Think of how awesome Bruce Wayne is in that. George Clooney, no.
I don't know. I can see Clooney.
I don't know.
Well, that's my opinion there, everybody.
I don't know.
Have you boys heard of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark musical? I have heard of it, yes.
Yes, I heard loads of people died. Many Bothans died trying to make Spider-Man turn out the dark.
Oh, you know what I brought today? Everybody who made fun of me, I'm going to prove it to you.
Oh, yeah, show it to us, please.
Okay, so we did a stream recently, and I mentioned that I eat peanuts with the shell on, and I got so much hate in the chat and from my brother and people thinking it's absolutely disgusting. And I know that it's weird. I wasn't like, oh yeah, everybody does it. I knew it was uncommon, but I didn't know how uncommon it was until everyone was just like, what is wrong with you? So everyone, I've got some peanuts here with the shell on. I bought them especially today for this. Got some ASMR for you. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
It's disturbing. It's disturbing, I'm telling you. This is riveting audio for anyone
I'm
that's
going to stop
listening.
drawing and I'm going to watch.
Anyone listening to this after the fact, I'm very sorry.
Oh, you're a freak.
Oh, it's so good.
That's disgusting.
That's extra salty and peanutty.
You cannot start trying to convince people because it's not going to work.
Oh man, it's good. I want another one.
We're on a podcast.
More questions. Do either of you ever watch fan films for characters like Spider-Man or Batman?
I did when I was a teenager, but not anymore.
If so, do you have a few that are your favorite or stick out to you? I used to as well. Only like a year or so ago, I stopped watching them and checking them out. I watched Star Wars ones as well. I would say, though, that my favorite fan-made film ever, in fact, I was like, how is this not just a half-an-hour movie, is the Batman versus Predator versus Aliens. Do you remember that fan-made film?
I do, yeah. My favourite fan-made film is The Laundromat, which is Thomas Jane's reprising role as the Punisher.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one as well. Yes, I forgot about that. That's really good. I still like that Batman because that Batman's in like the proper grey tight costume. He's ripped. He's fighting them in a dark alley. It's raining, beating up on the Predator and then Alien. I just remember that and I was like, Batman, you're so cool. That's when I felt like I actually saw a comic book come to life, I think. You know, like a live action version. Shut up, you.
It's like a comic book's come to life right in front of me.
As he's drawing comic books for a living.
Wow.
Piercy said, I think Andrew Garfield would love to be Spider-Man. That's his dream role. Well, I mean, we will find out, won't we? I think that Sony is maybe misleading us, but we don't know that yet. So we'll see. Clooney is Old Man Bruce in Batman Beyond, though. But still, Keaton is my number one choice. Yeah, Keaton for the Old Man Bruce and Batman Beyond, for sure. Eating peanuts with a shell on is like saying The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the best movie ever. You are definitely a freak. Oh, I'm getting some hate.
Well, we've all seen you do it now.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
It's tasty. I liked it. Freddie Fazbear. Hi, you're shiny. I'm shiny?
You are shiny. You're sweating a bit.
No, I'm actually not sweating. I know that sounds weird.
Oh, is it the moisturizer that we advertised before?
The moisturizer, bud. That moisturizer makes it exfoliate.
It does polish the old noggin, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Look at that. That's polished up. Shiny. Oh, now I'm singing that stupid Moana song. I started to make a playlist today of songs that get stuck in my head because I finally I hear songs.
What, you have to put so many in it to like try and tune it out?
Yeah, the only way I get it out of my head is if I listen to the song.
Mm-hmm.
So I've started being like, what gets stuck in my head, and when I start singing it too much, I put it in that list. Playlist is going to be so weird. It's going to have like Disney songs mixed with like Limp Bizkit mixed with all these weird other types of genres. Someone said Alex is being a naughty geezer with those peanuts today.
Oh, proper naughty! Now there's a naughty geezer.
So I got a question for you as well, and I've actually been wanting to know this. What Spider-Man... Oh, I'll wait for you to be done, Mr. Noisy.
I am drawing on a bloody screen, you know.
I know, that's why I'm just gonna wait for you to be
Mr.
done.
Noisy. I'll wait for you to be done, Mr. Noisy. Mr. Noisy over there, am I right?
You're being such a dickhead today.
Mr. Noisy.
It's one of your Mr. Man characters, Mr. Noisy. And then Mr. Greedy.
Send your noisy pants over there.
What Spider-Man the Animated Series character designs have most influenced your art?
Hobgoblin, Venom, Peter Parker, Mary Jane.
Is it you want to draw those versions, or are there particular things in that character or in those characters that you've taken? You're like, I love the way Venom's eyes look, so
I've never incorporated the animated series properly into my art.
Yeah.
But I like the mise-en-scène, not to be wanky about it, of the show. Which just means I like the presentation, the costumes, just everything that you see on screen. I'm a big fan of. Just like with anything, like you take something like I'm not a huge Tim Burton fan, but I like his aesthetic and the mise-en-scène that he creates, and I'm sure that's influenced me in some way.
Okay, cool. We've got, how often do you guys wash your hands now?
I was a massive germaphobe. I still am before this, and now the world has to play by my rules.
It's made.
Which is, I've always tried to not touch people and keep my distance. And
so, how often do you wash your hands then?
Well, I wash my hands anytime they need to be washed.
Which is how many times a day?
I don't know. I don't get up like, it's time to wash my hands. If I go to the toilet, which I do often because I have a tiny bladder, Then I wash my hands. If I touch anything to do with the front door or any post or anything, I wash my hands. And anytime after I have a cigarette, I wash my hands as well.
Really? After you have a cigarette?
Yeah, they make your hands smelly.
I wash my hands and then wash my hands. Yeah, I just... oh, God. My nose is... I just saw me rubbing my nose on the chat. That's awful. I forget what on camera sometimes, mate. I think I wash my hands way more than I normally used to. But when I go out, when I accept post, I wash my hands, and yeah, when I go to the toilet. So really, you know, a bit more now, because when I go out or when I accept the post or stuff like that, I'll wash my hands, which I never used to. So those are the extra
I
ones.
always did that anyway, because you know me. I mean, you've been on holiday with me. I've always used the hand sanitizer, keep away. I constantly think, like, I've touched this. Anybody else, numerous people could have touched this. I'm in a place where people, if they're sick, they're forced to go there because you're not going to skip out on your plane ride, are you? It's germ central. And as someone who has a terrible immune system, who gets sick very easily and for very long, I'm out, boys. And that's why I use hand sanitizer. And that's why I keep my goddamn distance, because no one else does. And that's why there's a global bloody pandemic, because people don't know how to wash their bloody hands.
It's not the only reason, but yeah, sure. You should react to the Venom truth in journalism on stream one day. I didn't know that existed, that fan-made film. Eating peanuts with a shell on is like saying Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is a good movie.
I remember when I saw that as a teenager, I was like, bro, it's not bad.
I remember you saying that to me as well, and I watched it and I was like, no, it's bad. It's very bad.
I'm like, he uses the axe, bro. That's like a really cool idea.
Oh, I'll never forget. The biggest one you ever did for me on that is the Punisher Warzone.
Well, I went to go see the Punisher Warzone when I was 19, and I was a big stoner, and I was baked off my mind, and it was just me and a friend. We were the only people in the movie theater, and I was like, bro, this is really good, bro.
And I was on my way to see it. I remember you came out of the cinema and you messaged me and you're like, just saw it, and oh my God. Dude, it's the best Punisher. It's so good. It's so good. You're gonna love it. Like, oh my God, it's so good.
It's the one time I've been a you where I go into it blinded. Because you know me, I love the Punisher.
Yeah, I know. So I sat down and I was the only one in the cinema. That's weird that you were as well, because I remember being like,
I guess no one went to see that freaking movie.
I was like, mate, I'm the only one here. This is gonna be like the greatest film experience I've ever had. I'm gonna see the best Punisher film by myself in my own little cinema. And I remember 10 minutes in being like. And you know what? The beginning of that movie's good because he's like, he sneaks
They
into
do
Frank Miller's Year One.
Yeah, which is like kind of a dick move, but
they do Frank Miller's Year One. Yeah, and he's like, "You've eaten." I was just waiting for him to be like, "You've eaten well tonight." Yeah.
And the guy is like, "Thank God." I don't know. I remember that.
But then after that scene, that movie goes downhill. I remember watching it and be like, "When does this get good?" Because it sucks. This is terrible.
That one.
And then the parkour. What about like the Jamaican?
Jigsaw.
Oh, that and the parkour Jamaican guys, and one of them gets hit by a rocket launcher as they're doing like a side flip.
Oh, it cracks me up.
So
hey,
so stupid. Great. Why? Just shoot it.
That's the one time where I've come out when I've been like, I liked it, and then I watched it again. I'm like, that was bad. What was I thinking?
Do you have lesser-known DC villain that you'd love to see come into live action in movies or Arrowverse? My choice is Kevin Smith's Onomatopoeia versus Batman or Green Arrow. Yeah, that would be cool. I don't, off the top of my head, I really don't know unknown DC villains.
I want a live-action Man-Bat, baby.
Oh, you've just pulled that, and you know, in a Clayface as well. But they're
a Clayface, yeah.
I mean, it says lesser known, but you know what? Fuck it.
They are lesser known. If you said to the average guy on the street, who's the Man-Bat? They'd be like, Batman?
Is that Batman in reverse?
Yeah, Batman, bro.
It's like his ears the upside down way. Yeah, Man-Bat would be so good.
Yeah, do a horror Batman one with Scarecrow being all creepy, Man-Bat. Get all the freaks out.
Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter, yeah, make it a real bizarre trip.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be in for that. My question for you, it's my last question, is what's your favorite cartoon series ever?
Ooh, that's tough.
I had my first answer in my head, and I was like, no, Robson, think about this. Is this the answer you want to give? And I went through a load of different series, and at the end, I was like, yeah.
I think I've got to say that my favorite cartoon ever is Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, fair. I know I've never seen it. Maybe it will be a podcast in the future where you can educate me on episodes and I can go through it with you. But
I love Vegeta, baby.
I would say Batman the Animated Series for me.
Yeah,
I love
that would probably be my second.
I love Spidey so much, but Batman the Animated Series, there's something so iconic and unique about it that.
There's South Park as well.
South Park, and then there's Samurai Jack.
That's tough.
Yeah.
But yeah,
which version?
Out of all of them, Dragon Ball Z, that one really stuck with me.
Okay, another question. Which version of the Boys series do you like better and why? Comics or TV series?
I only read like one comic from the Boys, so it's going to have to be TV.
I'd never read a single issue, which I should. I probably should definitely check that out because I know they've changed some things from the TV show, for the TV show. But yeah, I would say TV series for sure, as it's the only thing I've had, and I thought it was really good. Do you like Neil Gaiman? You've had this question, right, before in the past?
I respect him so much as a creator, but I do not respond to the voice that he creates on the page.
Yeah, fair. I like Sandman, but it's difficult to get through some of that. I'm not a big fan of Arkham Asylum, and I know that's a shocker because that's a big favorite of people, which is I totally understand why people like that book. Yeah, I think my answer is the same there. I respect the hell out of him, and he's done a lot for comics and taking characters in new directions and
not
having
just comics, television as well. And
yeah, television, yeah, for sure. Books, but yeah, not one on my shelves that I go to. I'm rocking my Superman Kingdom Come t-shirt today, Smythe. Have you seen this? I like this shirt.
More like Kingdom Come. Hey-oh.
Oh, you fat prick. I like the Superman logo. I think this is a cool logo.
Yeah,
I like it more than the actual.
That Superboy, just like the jeans and the black t-shirt, I think is one of the best comic designs of all time.
Yeah, simple. That is cool. I do like the look of that. I also like the look of your Kingpin right now, by the way.
Thank you.
Really digging that Kingpin. He's looking large and in charge. I like how you put him in his chair in his office.
Yeah. I was gonna do like monitors in the background, but all my greens are out and I couldn't get the right greens, so I just blacked it all out.
That's all right. I'm telling you, man, a great commission. Didn't you? It was you who said someone suggested having Kingpin and Smythe like share a milkshake.
Yeah, that might be a commission that I'm getting soon. We'll see.
That's amazing. I love that so much. Someone said, "Why is Dragon Ball Z your favorite cartoon?"
I don't know. I just loved it as a kid. Akira Toriyama is one of my biggest art influences ever. I don't really talk about him too much, but man, he's inspired. That's why my stuff I think is so cartoony, because I love when you have something really cartoony and fun, but the stakes are high and stuff is serious. And I just love Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z to me is everything I could ever want out of a Superman story, but through like a kung fu lens. And like, you know me, I love kung fu movies, all that type of stuff. And it's just they're superheroes. It's the long lost superhero story to me. I love it so much.
Yeah, I should check it out one day, shouldn't I? I mean, I'd be interested to know if it ends up being something I'm like, oh, because at Death Note, I was like, anime, not into this. And then you were saying it's good.
I knew I could get you into Death Note because it was just really well done. Dragon Ball Z, I don't know. It could be just one of those things you need to grow up on, you know?
Yeah.
It's like showing an adult now Star Wars. You'd be like, I don't care about any of this. It's like, you should care!
This is built into my DNA!
Yeah, exactly.
So we got a question. Do you like Junji Ito?
Never heard of it. I'm not a big anime guy.
No, you're not, are you? Yeah.
I'm not super into it. I like recently Death Note, amazing, and also that Death Note one-shot book where a new person got the note. absolutely incredible. I sent that to you. I don't think you read it.
Yeah, I haven't read that yet, but
Read
yeah,
it.
you told me
It's,
the whole story.
so. Oh yeah, I did. I just ended up telling you the whole story.
Yeah.
Really good. That guy is just a great writer, just in general.
Mm.
And that's why I don't like I'm not a big fan of the aesthetic of manga and the look of it. I especially cannot stand the like blatant sexualism in anime and manga, and like the way that women are just such objects in it. Disgusting. Different culture though. Totally understand. But to me, that always ruins it when I'm watching something that's like a really great story, and then some girl comes along and they're like, "Oh, look at her tits" and shit like that. I'm like, why? It's so unnecessary to the story, and you're objectifying women, and it's disgusting.
Oh, look at her tits.
Well, there is a character in Dragon Ball Z that all he does is like cream over women, and like,
oh, cream. Why
and
does
he's like always like trying to look up their skirts and stuff, and I'm like, it's so unnecessary.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad.
And he's always reading porno mags, and he's just disgusting. But he's Master Roshi, and he's dope. It's a vicious cycle. It's pulling me into. I'm like, there's Master Roshi. He's amazing. Oh, but he's also disgusting to women, and I would hate him actually as a real human being. But he did teach Goku the Kamehameha, and he is his master. But he's also a piece of shit. It's like when you find out one of your favorite actors is like, you know, been freaking doing horrible things, and you're like, I really like Kevin Costner. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. Yeah, but he's also kind of a rapist and a piece of shit. Ah!
You said Kevin Costner? You mean Kevin Spacey?
That's the one. I always get them mixed up.
You call him Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner's like, no. Yeah.
No relation. I have nothing to do with that. Are you giving away a comic today?
Yeah, I can do.
Yeah. And I'm not asking to ask the question right now. I've noticed your KingPin is nearly done. If I'm right.
Yeah, you can ask the question. That's fine. This
Okay.
I don't know what's wrong with this piece of paper I chose today, but it's been bleeding inks and color all over. This is a really muddy piece.
Muddy piece. Someone said, I just read Sweet Tooth Deluxe Volume. Have you read it, and what do you think of it? I don't know what Sweet Tooth Deluxe is. I assume maybe that's possibly anime or manga, being that we were just talking about that. I'm not sure. But if you liked it, that's all that matters.
Yep, that's all that matters.
We also got, so you guys are hired to rebuild the Superman franchise for the DCEU. Who's your new Superman, and what's the story arc? Yeah, it's really difficult to do a Superman film now because the basics have been done. Like, I would not show Krypton again. I would not show him being sent to John and Martha Kent.
I have a Superman story in my back pocket, but I don't know if it's been done, and I don't know if it would be too controversial.
Okay, go for it.
I want there to be another surviving member of Krypton that comes down to Earth. He's been watching her for ages. He's like, oh, these people worship somebody who had amazing superpowers 2,000 years ago. Jesus Christ. I'm Jesus Christ. I'm the second coming of Christ. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's Jesus. He's walking on water. He's turning water into wine because he's got different abilities. Because I'm going to say people from Krypton get different abilities. And Superman's like, that's not Jesus. And everyone's like, fuck you, Superman. That's Jesus. We like him, not you. And that's always the story I've had in the back of my head. I
like that because also Superman, like especially the Dick Donner film, it is a coming of Jesus story, isn't it? Like there's a lot of religious undertones.
Coming of age story, coming of Jesus story.
Coming of Jesus story, yeah. I've heard that phrase before. And it is very much like there's religious undertones, and I like pushing that more with your story. Yes, it could be controversial, so I get that.
Yeah, but could you imagine getting all the really extremists of that like around him? And trying to make society conform to his ways. Christ is back. Yeah. And you're all going to pay. And then he is like, starts using God's wrath on people.
Yeah. Like, and imagine also that like people that don't believe it's Jesus or just in general, they're like, we're going to go for Superman. Imagine then suddenly seeing Jesus kick the crap out of Superman. They're like, JC, is he more powerful than Superman? Oh my God.
And everyone's like, yeah, well, obviously.
He's the son of God. Yeah. Oh man, I like that story.
Yep.
Someone said that sounds super interesting. I definitely watch or read that story.
Yeah.
Maybe. That sounds cool. Yeah, no, there's something there. I like that a lot. What do you think? What do you guys think of Dark Knight's Metal? I didn't like it, if I'm honest.
Not a fan.
Yeah, not a fan. I loved Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo team-ups. I was looking forward to it, but I found the lore that had a lot of exposition explained around it just wasn't for me. Not a big fan of Batman stories where the Justice League is involved. For some reason, I've never have. Like, I love Bruce Timm's Batman the Animated Series. When I say Bruce Timm, there's a lot of other people involved in that. But obviously, his character designs went on for Justice League and such. But I've tried watching Justice League, and there's a few episodes I like, mainly focused around Batman, and they had like the Joker in it and stuff. But yeah, I don't think I like the Justice League. I love the Avengers. When the Avengers team up, I'm all for it. All the different Avengers teams.
I completely agree.
Justice League, I'm like, I'm not here for it. And I think it's because the Justice League characters are too OP. You know what I mean? They're too overpowered. They've got too many like godlike abilities. Once you have Superman on your team, who else do you need? You don't need anyone else. And if someone breaks out kryptonite, then he'll figure it out. He always does. Like, I think having Wonder Woman, Superman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, all these characters from like different planets or different worlds, it's just not super relatable. And then you've got Batman, who's just this dude, who is like, the greatest detective in the world, has trained himself and all these abilities. But at the end of the day, if he's fighting in space, like, he gonna die. Like, it's not gonna happen. And going to other planets, Batman and other planets, I don't like. So yeah, Dark Knight Metal had a lot of elements of Justice League in it. I
know the point was to jump the shark, but it did jump the shark too much for me.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. And they're doing some new Batman story as well. They've been hinting at.
Yeah.
And I know you didn't like Last Night on Earth.
But I only read one issue.
Yeah, I dug it. That is where he jumped the shark, or he pushed it, and I actually liked the direction it was going in, because it was just like, for me, it was kind of like a what if, because it was so undefined about what this reality was, that I kind of just enjoyed the ride without being like, well, this is part of Batman's lore now, because technically it's not.
Do you know where the phrase "jump the shark" came from?
No, I don't.
It came from the show Happy Days, when Fonzie jumped over a shark with his motorcycle, and that's when everyone thought that show had been going on for too long, and it jumped the shark.
The shark. Oh, that's really cool. Thanks for that fact.
You're welcome.
Do you know what I found out last night? Do you want to hear a fun fact for me? It's fun facts on Spider-Man the Animated Series podcast that have nothing to do with Spider-Man. Last night, I discovered a cool fact of, do you know why we clink our glasses when we toast?
Nope.
So there's two reasons. There's the reason it started, and now it's the reason that we carry on doing it. So the reason we carry on doing it is because sound ignites one of the five senses, which then will enhance the drinking experience. By hearing that clink, it excites the earlobes, which then in turn helps with the drinking experience and all of this like namby-pamby, like smell your own farts type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But the original reason is back in medieval times, they would clink the glasses due to poison, and it would check for poison because of the way the liquid was distilled. Like if you poison something, you would clink it, and also people that wanted to prove
what would happen if you clinked it and it was poison?
Well, people that wanted to prove that it wasn't poisoned would pour themselves a drink from somebody else's glass, and then clink their glass to prove that it's not poison, and then drink it. So they're kind of like, give me a glass, you think it's poisoned, they pour it in their own, and then they clink it and drink as a way to symbolize, like, I'm not trying to poison you. It was kind of like a demonstration, if you will, of making sure that it's not poisoned.
If you will.
Shut up.
Will I? Maybe. You'll have to wait to see.
What else we got? If Will adds a white glare on the black background, it can still be a big TV monitor. Well, it's gone now.
Bit late for that now.
Bit late, yeah.
I'm done.
Someone said Happy Days, so someone else knew the Jump the Shark.
Oh, that's good.
It looks good, man. I love that KingPin. That's great.
Yeah.
That's proper Roscoe Lee Brown, but also in your own style. Smythe! I love the Smythe above it. That's awesome.
There we go, a little animated series. Kingy pingy.
Okay, so let's get a quiz question. So, what are you giving away today?
One sec. We're giving away issue 3 of Spider-Ham
Spider-Ham.
comic, drawn by me. Let's look at
Very
my art,
cool.
shall we? Oh, look, they're doing stuff. Oh, look, look at that. Whoa, don't you want to read that, baby mama? Look at that splash page. I'm just going to sit here and look at my art.
Okay, so I've got my question, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. For all of those listening and tuning in and want to win Spider-Ham issue 3, the question, and spelling is important here. The question is, in Spider-Man the Animated Series, who does Detective Terry Lee fall in love with? In Spider-Man the Animated Series, who does Detective Terry Lee fall in love with? First person to answer that will win a free copy of Spider-Ham issue 3, drawn by Will Robson.
Hey, Will Robson.
You drawing, just flicking through your art, having a peek?
His name is Will Robson. I never realised that worked with my own name.
Dum 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 dum.
Hey, Will Robson. He drew this Will Robson.
I remember when you sent me the inks to that page, and I was just like, by God.
That took me many days.
Yeah, it did. But it's well worth it, though. That's a really cool page. Or double page.
Yeah.
We've got someone saying Gwen. No, that's not true. That is not the answer I'm looking for. Detective Terry...
Stacy isn't even in the animated series.
Well, she is in one episode.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, in the...
I apologize.
Very briefly, she's married to another Peter Parker in another universe. She falls in love with Blade. Ding, ding, ding. Well done, Piercy. So, Piercy, you win a copy.
Please email me at robsonrequest@gmail.com.
That's right. And whilst we're here, for all those listening and aren't tuning in, if people want to request a commission from Will whilst his commissions are still open before he goes back to work with Marvel, you can do so and do it quick, because obviously his commissions are rolling in at robsonrequest@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Be able to get your commission costs and whatever you want from there, which would be cool. You've done some great commissions recently. I've been a big fan of what I've seen.
Thank you very much. Well, if you're such a big fan, you should buy one.
Nope.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, like, come on and do these live streams with you. Also, for everyone that's listening and not watching on the live YouTube, you can catch us most weekdays now, like every other day, maybe 3 times a week I join his live streams, but Will is doing Monday through Friday live streams, 6 p.m. British time, and he's doing his commissions live drawings and sketch cards and all the other things. So you can talk to him there, watch him draw, just like we did today. And sometimes I'll be on there. Like I said, I'm on there 2-3 times a week, and it's kind of like extra episodes.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some more guests, comic book artist guests, to come on as well, which would be fun.
Yeah, and I like how you brought the little Spawn cherub in there. That was fun. I just saw that.
Everyone go pick up Spawn Kills Everyone 2.
I got mine as well.
Drawn by me and written by Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, buddy. And if you're just tuning in for the first time on this podcast, I don't know why, because this episode is definitely not our usual format. But if you are, you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by keyword searching Spider-Man the Animated Series podcast, or you can head to iTunes, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts to listen in to all of our episodes and hijinks on there. Is there anything you want to add before you wrap up, bud?
No, I'm good.
Oh, someone wants you to give away Spawn babies.
They're too expensive to give away. I'm sorry.
Limited editions, mate. Maybe one day, but right now, limited edition.
Yeah, maybe one day. I've got a box of them in my garage. I mean,
yeah,
they're in storage somewhere. They're not there.
I've got one, and I feel very special for having one, but I'm his brother, so
I don't have a black one. I only got the blue ones. I want to get a black one.
Yeah, I want the black one too, but blue is still cool.
Yeah, but I want them both, mate. Tom McFarlane only sent me a box of one colour, and I was infuriated. Now he went up and I said, Todd, you sent me only one colour. And he went, oh, jeez. Sorry, bud.
He's like, oh, jeez, who's this? I don't remember your name.
Yes, he hasn't responded to my emails in a while.
You've been reduced to spam.
It was a flash in the pan. All right, well, thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today on this live episode. It's been fun just chatting. Tune in next time where we'll continue talking all things Spider-Man, the animated series. Until then, I've been Alex Robson.
I've been Will Robson.
And remember, with a great podcast comes great recordability. You should probably close down this chat right now because it takes you a while.
Bye.
And I've just done. Bye.